Hello YouTube. Today I want to talk about feather stick, but I will not talk about the best knife for it or the best technique. Today I'd like to talk about the best wood for the job. I have here 4 types of wood. I have poplar, I have pine, I have oak, and also beech. Every type of wood has its own properties, its own type of fiber, its own type of hardness to the cut, and that affects very much the ability of that wood to make feather stick. I will not talk about technique. Each of you probably have his own technique to make feather stick. Mine is to tilt the knife just a little bit until the blade bites the wood, and then drag it to the end of our work surface. This piece of poplar have some nuts. This is not very good, but I do not have another. I will continue. This portion is harder to cut. That's confirmed my theory. And here and here is the nut. I will turn it this way and try again. Probably will have the same problem. Yes, here is the nut. And we must dance around it. Let's try, let's see what we can do. Obviously the best piece of wood is nut free, but if we cannot find such a piece of wood, we will use this one. Use what we can find. So as you can see, the poplar is very good to make feather stick. The feathers made from it are very curly, are very easy to make, and they in the most part stay on the stick. But we must also work the ridges, and depends of the dimension of the feathers that we want to obtain. We can tilt the knife to cut more deeply, or we can only cut thin slices of wood, like this. The poplar wood is very good at this, and no matter what, we can obtain the feathers that we need to light a fire. This is what I could do with that piece of poplar with nuts. Also, this piece of pine is not very straight, but we can try to do something with it. The particularity of this kind of wood is that the grain of the wood is twisted. The grain of the pine is rarely straight. So we must follow the grain, because if we not follow the grain, we will lose our feathers, and all will be on the floor. But that is not a very big problem. We can use even that pieces of wood. We can use it to put back on the feather stick, or to put directly on our fire. Here is what I can do with this piece of wood. You see, very nice to work with. It has relatively straight grain. If our knife is sharp, we can use it without any problem. And that's it. What I could get from that piece of pine. If I work it a bit longer, probably the feathers will be thicker, will be more volume, and so on, more surface for the fire to catch on. But enough of this. As I said, this is a very good wood for fire for the feather stick. I have here also a piece of beech. As you can see, the grain is twisted, the grain is wavy on that part, and I must straighten it out a little bit. We had here also a knot, and let's see what we can do. This type of wood is not the best type for feather stick because of the grain and also of the fact that the wood is a hard one, that we need more force to cut in, and so is more difficult for me, at least, to obtain very fine feathers. But with a little attention, a little determination, we can obtain some feathers that could be considered a good way to start a fire. Look what I obtained, and now I will stop. The point is not show you how good I am to make feather stick, because I'm not very good, but to show you the properties of different type of wood. This is oak, and this is the hardest of them all, because also the grain is not straight, and the wood is hardest of them all. And if on the others we could obtain some curls, some beautiful curls, here the feathers will not curl themselves, only will bend because of the grain of the wood, because of the hardness of the wood. And as you can see, even if the wood is very dry, it is not very good for feather stick. It can be done, feathers can be done from it, but it is hard to do it. We must press, and also this is not very forgivable with our knife. Look, we can obtain, as I said, some feathers. We must also use some force, and in these conditions I think I have obtained a good piece of feather stick. So my point is, very important to achieve a good feather stick is the knife. It must be sharp, but in the same manner, very important is the type of wood that we use. If we use softer wood, like poplar, like pine, like spruce, even I don't know, chestnut. There are very good willow also. Are very good wood, type of wood for feather sticking, but birch, beech, oak, ash, dogwood. They are not very good, and we must choose our wood if we want to obtain some good quality feather sticks. This is all for today. As I said, my technique was not the point of this movie. Probably next time I will use a different knife. This one is convex. Have a grind that is convex. I will use probably Scandi grind, and probably also I will make a comparison between the two regarding the making of feather stick. This is all for today. A very good weekend to you all.